Sweet nectar. So, good morning, or should I say good evening to the other side of the world. It's me, the Lock Robster, the MN Love of LA, bringing you my newest vlog. Yes, and it is actually, if you haven't seen the title, of course you gotta see the title. MNL48 Interactive Live Review, Part 10. Yes, I wanted to get all these episodes reviewed before I actually do another part where it's basically a countdown towards episode 100. So yeah, so today is Tuesday, Tuesday morning here, at least in California. So I'm not sure if they're gonna do an episode in a couple of hours, which will be episode 99, and I'm gonna be watching that later on. But to get on with the reviews, I'll be reviewing 14 episodes today. Yes, so that's basically from episode 77 to episode 90. Yeah, so hold on to your hats and let me get on with my review. Yes. Oh, as a matter of fact, regarding this vlog, this is actually my sixth take. The previous takes I got like, because my notes was such in a jumble that I was like pausing for long moments just to figure out what the episode was. Yeah, it's been quite some time, and sometimes some episodes I didn't actually watch live because sometimes they're boring and sometimes it doesn't have the members I'm really interested in. But anywho, let's get on with the iLive review. Okay, starting up with episode 77, shown on August 29, Thursday. So the members appearing were Grace and Abby. Yeah, Kay was supposed to be included in this episode. However, I believe she was not feeling too well, so she was not unable to attend. However, her absence has been kind of covered with three cameos this episode. So it was Kyla, Rance, and Sella made an appearance here. So basically, I would rank this episode as excellent because Grace and Abby like going back and forth was really funny. And as a matter of fact, a fan did a compilation of the funny moments of episode 77. Yeah, just look it up on YouTube. You'll see it. Yeah. So mostly it's like Abby defending herself from her from what happened at the Asia Fest in Shanghai. Like the past two episodes, members were making fun of her performance there. Junior 365, like she did this, and her the way she sang it with an accent and all that, and yeah, and another funny moment here is Grace always again the age jokes regarding her since she's the oldest member of MNL48. But I mean, between her and between her, Abby and Alice, they're just like months apart in the age department. But yeah, but Grace gets seems to get the majority of the old jokes of the old girl jokes in the group. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So moving on to episode 78, August 30 on a Friday. It's composed of Lara, Daryl, and two Kenkyuseis, Francis and Gia. Yeah, I can't remember much of the episode. Oh, but I think it's more like they still talk about the girls' experience in those who attended the Asia Fest in Shanghai and how it was like a topic on Twitter and all that. And also they showed like pictures uh, of them in Shanghai, and they made more fun of here is Bray because of her boyish haircut, or whom they call Justin Bieber cut. Yeah, they made fun of that and made fun that like if you notice in some of the group shots, Bray is not smiling. Like I guess she's tired and just wants to get it over with, just like to rest. So yeah, so she seemed to come off as like angry all the time, or tinatawag na tigasin, or tomboyish in some ways. So I guess that's how her persona is being perceived by a lot of the girls and the MN loves. Yeah. Oh, and also one of the MN Loves made a comment there. If you remember that Tiki Tiki commercial, United American Tiki Tiki, like that children's medicine. Yeah, I think one of them made a joke by replacing Tiki Tiki with Sheki Sheki. Yeah, and I think I remember the girls uh, cracked a laugh at that. So yeah, I would rank this episode okay. Yeah, not really memorable. Yeah. So moving on, episode 79, shown on September 3, which is a Tuesday. Yes. So it's composed of Eka, Mari, Essel, and Thea. Yeah, so they did something different here as as a background change. It wasn't the like penthouse studio. It's just like there's an ordinary back wall, and then there's no sofa. All four members are standing up. So what they're doing here is like part of uh, their acting training. Yeah, but behind, but so we all know that it's a green screen behind them. So they're gonna project a scene behind them, and depending on what was chosen from a bowl, what three of them were gonna act, and one was gonna guess on what they're doing in comparison to the scenario that's behind them on the green that's projected on the green screen behind them. And also holding the bowl is Belle. Yeah, she makes a cameo here. Yeah, and they nicknamed her Lady Ariba. It's almost like she was also part of the episode because from the way I mean, it's her appearance that was not like very quick like that, but she made several appearances on camera. So yeah. So regarding the scenario, let's say there's a beach scenario, and Mari is tasked of guessing what Thea, Essel, and Eka are doing on the beach. Like I think Thea was like looking for her lodge, and one of them got bit by a jellyfish, something like that. Yeah, something like that. And Mari had a hard time with this because there's at some points because they're like frozen in place, and she thought that they weren't acting at all. But yeah, but yeah, but I guess this is just like the first time they're doing this with the green screen and all that. So they're basically experimenting. Okay. So next scenario was the airport. They did an airport. So Eka was gonna guess what the other three are doing. So she was able to guess uh, all three things that all the girls were doing. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty smart. Eka is. And let's see here. Yeah, and also they did in kind of like it's almost like a challenge for the Evan Loves, in which they try to let Evan Loves guess which member are they trying to impersonate. Yeah. So Thea, it's pretty easy that she was trying to impersonate Sala because of doing this puffy cheeks like that. And let's see here. So I think that's the other thing I guess that regarding Thea. For Essel, she was like singing and waving like that, and I thought she was doing Shaki. Turns out she was doing Belle. Yeah. Mari, I wasn't really sure what she was doing. I thought she wasn't part of it, but turns out she was impersonating Shaki. Yeah, because I think like towards the end, she tried to do the high note, but she couldn't. Like basically whistling. But yeah, I didn't really get that. For um, For Eka, I think I was slightly able to guess that it was actually Abby. It was either Abby or Shaki. It turned out to be Abby. Yeah. So yeah, that was a fun kind of challenge to do. Yeah, and I think because some certain MN loves weren't able to guess the impersonation, so some of the girls had to be punished by eating bitter melon or ampalaya. So when Vel came out with the ampalaya, since it was green, and we're doing a green screen, basically the images projected on the green screen is like going through the bitter melon, which is kind of funny because whatever they hold, it's like white, blue, or black in certain parts. And yeah, if they weren't able to say that that's a bitter melon, you wouldn't know it because the green color is totally gone. So yeah, so I would rank this episode as good. Yeah, I mean it made us laugh at parts, but like I said, they're still having a hard time trying to experiment with this type of game. Yeah. Oh, and also, Lei made a very, very, very quick cameo towards the end as everyone was saying goodbye. Yeah. So, moving on to episode 80. Okay, so episode 80, September 4 on Wednesday. So they're doing the same green screen scenario acting again. This time it's composed of Miho, Ems, Jan, and Alice. Okay, so Ems is tasked to guess this, with a scenario of a subway or MRT. But from the picture, it looks like it was taken in Japan, so I'm guessing subway or train. Yeah, yeah, whatever. So yeah, so she had a hard time guessing because Alice, I don't know, Alice is the way whatever scenario she picked, she couldn't make sense of it. Yeah. So then moving on to a different scenario. What was flashbang? It was a gym. And yeah, so Jan was tasked to guess what they were doing. Yeah, and I think this part was pretty funny because Jan seemed to, she mentioned that she couldn't relate because she doesn't go to a gym. But I believe she was able to guess what all three were doing. Yeah, well, she got that in quite well. Okay, then we went to the I'm in Love challenge. Tried to guess which members are they trying to portray or impersonate. Yeah, first up was Jan, and I guessed right away because they talked about it before in iLive. Jan was actually impersonating Abby during the scenario. They talked of where Abby was supposed to send another place when it was during the press con for the Asia Fest Shanghai, and Alice kind of like joined Jan, and Jan portrayed Abby, Alice portrayed Cherprung, which I was able to guess right away because of the story, in which Abby was like touching the flower on the wall, but Cherprung was supposed to be standing there, so Cherprung kind of told her to just move forward so she could also touch the wall, the right place for her. Yeah, so that's what Jan was able to guess that. So Ems did just shouted Darna. I was able to guess that that was Danny because she actually did that on a previous iLive episode. Yeah, who else did something? Then Alice did her own impersonation of being confused. Yeah, and I didn't get that at all. Turns out it was Sella. Yeah. And Miho, she did like a weird dance, and I couldn't get that at all. But later she revealed, turned out she was impersonating Amy. And from what she explained, the dance came from uh, Isabel's IG story where Amy was dancing in the background like that. Yeah. So because of that, not all Evan Loves were able to answer do the correct answer for their impersonation. So they get punished again with bitter melon, which once again is seen through because the green coloring. The image basically is also projected on it. and the one that brought out the bitter melon on a plate. Not Belle, but Isabel this time. Yeah, for her cameo appearance. And also they keep mentioning that Amy was there, and she finally showed up in front of the camera for her cameo appearance once more. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I would rather say that I would rank this episode as excellent because yeah, pretty funny. Yeah, like that. Okay. So moving on to episode 81. Mm-hmm. So episode 81 was September 5 on a Thursday, and it was kind of like put together quickly because it was later. It was, I think, announced earlier in the day, in which Ash was about to graduate, so this was going to be her final iLive appearance. And for that, she was asked to choose which three members she'd like to be on the show with, and she chose those who are closest to her, which are Sella, Fate, and Alyssa. Yeah, and imagine a lot of the fans, I mean, including me. I mean, where's Gab? I mean, what happened to the Gash couple? She would later explain in the episode that, I mean, if you had a choice, I mean, she would have had Gab there, but Gab was busy at school, so she couldn't attend the iLive shooting. Yeah. So, so regarding, she explained why she had to graduate. Turns out she's offered to study in Japan to continue her international studies, and she revealed that this was actually offered to her last year, but she decided to continue her journey of becoming an idol on MNL48 for the fans' sake, since she was one of the more popular members. So she did service for the fans, and over years already passed, and she decides to like finally take the offer and eventually graduate from MNL48. Yeah, I know Ash is like obviously it's popular, and she's always one of my favorites. She's always in my top 10. Yeah, of probably the coolest members of MNL48. But yeah, I hope that she does like well over there in Japan, and future is always bright with her. Yeah, so I would rank this episode as good, good. Yeah, I would say it's excellent because it's kind of a bit sad since Ash is going away. Okay, love you, Ash. Okay, so moving on to episode 82. Okay, since after the Ash thing, they go back to the green screen acting process again. So episode 82, September 6th on Friday. Okay, the lineup is Isabel, Dana, Danny, and the host is Abby. However, Abby was not supposed to be in it. It's supposed to be Allie, but Allie was busy at school, so they had Abby replace her for this episode. So this episode is more like focus on the September birthday girls. Yeah, so Isabel, Dana, and Danny were celebrating their birthday this September. Yeah, so they talked about what gifts or what they did on their past birthdays that's so different, and as usual, you'll notice that Danny's once again being shy and quiet. Yeah, I guess we can't help that. Yeah, and Dana, I believe this is the first mention by Dana, at least the Tokyo Game Show. Yeah, I mean, I was always wondering how come they already advertised it that some of the girls, 8 of the girls, were going to the Tokyo Game Show, as well as the second match of Blue Lunch. But during past episodes of iLive, no one seemed to be promoting it. Yeah, so this is the first time that actually was mentioned on iLive regarding the Tokyo Game Show by Dana. Yeah, and also in the episode, as usual, the birthday girls, kind of like make fun of them by showing their baby pictures or their kid pictures. Yeah, so yeah, that was fun. Overall, I would rank this episode as okay. Yeah, nothing much, just about it. Okay, so, oh wait, let's say green screen scenario. Oh yeah, so episode 82 didn't have the green screen scenario. Sorry, totally wrong. So basically just the Sit and Psy Girls episode. So 83, then they went back to the green screen scenario, but this time they have a different take on it. Yeah. So episode 83 on September 9 on a Monday, composed of Cole, Lara, Ella, and can you say Trish? Yeah. So for this green screen scenario, they're gonna pair off in twos. Yeah, and two of the members will be narrating a scenario for the two other girls, depending on the scene on the background. Okay, so basically, first up was Ella and Trish, and they're at a birthday party. Okay, and Cole and Lara, I think they made them pick something of a bowl that they have to connect both the what is written on the paper, basically a scenario. Try to connect it together within the confines of the background, which is the birthday party. Yeah, so it was pretty funny a bit. Like I said, since they are experimenting. Yeah, but Cole and Lara were very good at the narrative. Yeah, and Ella and Trish were funny just following it around. Yeah. So yeah, so they switch it up with parents. So Cole and Lara are now in a scenario in the mall, and Ella and Trish were like, I would say, dare I say, excellent uh, narrative abilities. Yeah, and I think there's one funny part with Lara there, where I think Ella was mentioning it's almost like she was like for scenario you thought it was she was mentioning ghosts. Like you see a girl in white and then suddenly she sang and they sang Lara kind of like jumped immediately saying that, oh, is that Abby? Yeah. For some reason they were when they were doing the scenario they were holding their microphones and they're able to talk. Yeah, which will be rectified in the next episode. Yeah, I mean if you're doing a scenario like this, like acting, you might as well almost like pantomime in a way, since you're following the narration of the other members. Yeah. So yeah, episode was kind of funny regarding the narratives and how the girls are like in a way punishing the other set of girls for what they did to them in earlier. So yeah, so overall, I'm not sure it was. Um, I believe it was like kind of like mentioned that Lara was the best actress in the whole episode. Yeah. So overall, I would rank this episode as okay. Yeah, despite being funny. Yeah, like I said, once again they're doing the experiment with the green screen acting training. Yeah. So moving on to episode 84, shown on September 10 on a Tuesday. So the girls are now Gia, Deanne, Claire, and Princess. Yeah. So what's funny about this is that the beginning episode, Claire seems very up close to the camera to make her look taller since she's the shortest member of the group. Oh, as a matter of fact, last episode, Trish is really shorter than everyone else in that group because, I mean, she was with like basically all the tall members in that group. Cole, Lara, and Ella were quite tall girls, and you see Trish how short she really is. Yeah, kind of like in the same way. But I mean, Claire, yeah, we know she's small, but I mean, compared if you compare it to Gia, Deanne, and Princess, it's not as towering as from the previous episode. Yeah. So we do the same scenario again, where they're paired off in twos. Two of the members narrate, while two other members do the acting, following the instructions in the narration. Yeah. So first up was Claire and Princess, and it's an office setting. Yeah. So yeah, I think this one was pretty funny because whatever Deanne and Gia put Claire and Princess through. Yeah, you should really watch it. It's really hard to describe everything that's done there, but I assure you, it's very funny. Yeah. So let's see here. So then they do the switcheroo. So Deanne and Gia are the scenarios of marketplace. Yeah. So Princess and Claire, did their revenge because they put them, they put them through a hard thing to do with the narration, so they did almost the same thing. Yeah, but quite a bit funny, but yeah, it's okay to watch. Go ahead and watch it. Yeah. So so after that scenario regarding the marketplace, it turns out Princess wasn't able to read her one of the scenarios that she picked up from the ball. And in a way, they gave like an extra situation for her to read so she could get it into the marketplace scenario. Yeah. So yeah, and also regarding Princess, this is the second time in iLive that she did her showed her vampire teeth uh, on uh, on the show. Yeah. So with the rules improving, so when they do the scenarios, there's no mics, so they can't speak and just do the pantomime. Yeah, basically. So believe the best actress was awarded to Deanne for some reason. I can't remember. Maybe she did a funny thing. I just can't recall right now. Yeah, so I ranked this episode as good. Yeah, good, good, good. All right. So moving on to episode 85. Yeah, still moving on with the green screen acting. Yeah, the members today were Jan, Sheki, Alice, Jem. Did I say today? I meant it was shown on September 11 on Wednesday. Yeah, episode 85. Yeah. So Jan, Sheki, Alice, and Jem. Yeah. And I believe this is the start of the. I think it's a like a prank by the director, because they would suddenly like start the episode without telling the girls. So yeah, it almost became a trend. Like every episode, like they would just focus on the line and see what the girls are doing. So it's almost like a delayed start. They weren't told that the episode. Sometimes they don't believe the director that the episode was live, but it's actually live. Okay, so almost like catching the girls unawares. Yeah, naturally. Yeah. So yeah, so during that episode, Alice announced the upcoming release of their DVD of the Living the Dream concert. Yeah. So yeah, I look forward to purchasing that DVD once it comes out, because yeah, I like to watch it. Since I was able to watch it, I wasn't over there. Yeah. So yeah, and also I believe Tokyo Game Show was mentioned once again in the episode. Yeah. So moving on to their acting scenario. So once again, paired in twos, Jan and Sheki were are in a jeep scenario. So yeah, so Alice and Jem really uh, put Jan and Sheki through the ringer here, and I'm not sure. Let's say, all right, of course it's funny. Yeah, the scenario is funny, but the way Jem and Alice were narrating this, because it was so disjointed. There was almost no continual flow of the story, that it seemed very confusing. Yeah. Same way with when the roles are reversed. Alice and Jem are in an airplane scenario. And yeah, same thing, same way kind of like happened also with Sheki and Jam seem to have a hard time narrating the scenario or giving instructions. And like I said, same way that how it's disjointed, and there's no really continued flow of the story to fit the scenario. Yeah. I think these girls, these four at least, need practice on how to do this style of storytelling. Yeah. Though it is funny, sure, it's funny. But the way it was executed was bad. So I had to rank this episode as bad. Yeah. Sorry. You just have to improve your narrating abilities, girls. Okay. So moving on to episode 86. Shown on September 12 on a Thursday. Let's see here. So it was the girls are Grace, Sala, Ali, and it was supposed to be Rowie for this episode, but she was absent. I think she wasn't feeling well, and they inserted Melissa to replace her. Oh yeah, I think let's see here. Almost forgot from last episode 85. I think the best actress. I'm pretty sure the best actress was. I think they gave it to Alice. I think. Yeah. Yeah, Alice was the best actress in that episode. Yeah. From what I remember, I could be wrong. But go ahead and watch episode 85 uh, to figure it out. Yeah. So yeah. So Grace, Sala, Ali, and Alyssa. Yeah. So once again, the delayed start again, and you see the girls are sitting. You just see the top of their heads, and they're talking. Yeah. When they're surprised that the episode is already starting, so they all got up. Yeah. So let's see here. Okay, so all right, so there we go. So they did green screen again. Yeah, so paired off in twos. So they first did Sella and Alyssa in a classroom. Yeah, classroom setting. And yeah, so Grace and Ellie were doing the narration, the instructions for the girls. Yeah, yeah. Once again, it's funny, but once again, like as last episode, the way it was narrated or the instructions were given was bad. Yeah. Once again, girls need practice in doing this kind of storytelling. Yeah, and almost the same way when the roles were reversed as well. So Grace and Ali were at a street scenario, which is actually Shibuya. Yeah, but yeah, despite the bad narrating, the girls were acting very good and they're very funny. Yeah, especially Grace, and that's why Grace was given the Best Actress award for this whole episode. So yeah, so in between scenarios, they did like they showed pictures and video, VTR of the girls in at the Tokyo Game Show. Yeah, and what they were doing up there. Yeah, for the promotion of the MNL48 Janken Senbatsu card app. Yeah, so yeah, they showed VTR a bit and some pictures where they're out eating and like hanging out and all that. So yeah, that's very good to see. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah. So yeah, there are funny moments in the episode. No dispute of that. Almost like actually, Ali was a very big laugh trip here. One was when she was doing the narrating for Salah and Alyssa. She mentioned that Alyssa was kind of like a genius. She mentioned that she's like Einstein, and then she mentioned like the name Franken Einstein. And Grace kind of like paused there and then realized that Ali was wrong, and she corrected Ali by saying Albert Einstein. So yeah, so so when the scenario was over, when the game was kind of like over, so they're like questioning, where did you get Frankenstein? It's like Frankenstein. It's almost like Ali didn't know who Frankenstein was. But yeah, it's like a funny thing that was going on there regarding Ali and this Frankenstein woman. Yeah, and then the much more funny part when she was reading a comment from an Evan Love. She pronounced Stella's last name. Instead of pronouncing it properly as Gia, she pronounces it as Guaya. And like Stella was so shocked. She fell to the floor with Grace and as well as Ali. That Guaya almost sounds like buaya or crocodile in Tagalog for yeah in Tagalog. Buaya, guaya. Like everyone like God. I mean, everyone was so surprised regarding Ali's mispronunciation. I mean, she is from Cebu, but you would think they've been over a year together. She would think she would have heard what Sala's last name is pronounced as, but she really mentioned that she thought that it was pronounced that way, Guaya rather than Gia. So yeah, but then again, I'm not surprised since way back in episode 30, she tried to say Trece Martires, but she kept saying Trece as Trisi. Okay, she's Bisaya. She's from Cebu. Yeah, I would excuse that, but I mean, Joyce was trying to correct her and she couldn't properly say Trece. She kept saying Trisi. Yeah, so Gia Guaya. Okay, well, that's Ali for you, I guess. Funny girl. And also, she did another funny thing. Uh, she was greeting an Emin Love from Indonesia. She greeted her in Thai, rather than Indonesian or Malay. languages. So they're correcting her on that as well. Okay, yeah. So overall, yeah, it is a funny episode. Some funny scenarios happen there. Funny things happen, especially with Ali. But I would rank this as bad because the way how the once again like last episode, how the episode was executed. You know, in a way where that's supposed to be done correctly, but they weren't able to do the narrating, the story time telling correctly. So I mean, do better, girls. So bad rank for me. Okay, so let's go to episode 87. Yeah, September 16 on a Monday. Ooh, so it's like, oh yeah, it looks like this is the second time that they're able to air an episode on a Monday. Yeah, the first one was back in episode 83, or yeah, that was the first Monday episode in a while. So now this is the second Monday they have. Yeah, September 16. So it's composed of Jamie, Sheki, Ali, and new member Frances. Yeah, well, not a new member. She was promoted from the Kenkyusei to replace Ash. Yeah. So yeah, so this was the first episode of Frances as an official member of MNL48. Yeah, and they're making like question, asking Frances her feelings and all that, and it was revealed that Frances is Kamioshi is Sheki. So yeah, Sheki was making like making almost like lovey eyes with her. Yeah, they did like a what do you call this? A ship between her and Frances and Sheki. So it's Frankie. Frankie, like one Evan Love suggested. Yeah, so yeah, Sheki was just, like kind of like that the whole episode, which is the opposite of what Jamie was doing. She was doing like puns, like Fate would do, and yeah, she was like not getting the laugh she wanted. Like Sheki was like ah ha ha, like that. So it was like Fate found a disciple in Jamie in the puns department. Yeah. So yeah, I would rank this episode as good. Yeah, because they're welcoming a new member. I was kind of surprised that actually Francis was chosen to be elevated into the ranks of the MNL48 team. Yeah, I assumed wrongly, but I thought it was like by seniority. So I assumed that Gia was going to be promoted. Yeah, almost like kind of like a reunion with Team L. Yeah, but I guess they saw the potential in Francis. Yeah, and a lot of MN Love saw that. I didn't though, so it's good for her to be promoted to the main team. I mean, she's a pretty girl, yeah, and she sings well. Yeah, she was able to like sing heavy rotation during the episode. Yeah, so yeah, I rank this episode as good, and yeah, turns out one of my comments was also read, more like a question on the episode. So yeah, it's the question is more on Ali because I wanted to know. I wanted to ask her this question. Yeah. Okay. So let me see if I can get to play that episode right now. Okay, bear with me. Let me get there. Just, okay. Let me just too bright. Don't want to blind the screen with my camera light. Okay, here goes. Okay. Okay, just slow down the volume a bit. Okay, hang on. Okay, there's an ad. So the ad, let me skip that, skip that, skip that. There you go.
Our fourth single, Ikaw ang Melody. Uy, kailangan di ka maging, yun nga, complacent. Dapat,
Okay, let's start it from here. Okay, there you go.
si Ate Kay, kasi sobrang welcoming niya, kaya huwag kang matakot. Opo, sobrang welcome. Matakot ka. Yeah. Sobrang bait po. Siya po yung isa sa pinakaunang members po, mga senpai na nag-approach po sa akin. At ate kay pasalubong daw. Parating na si Ate Kay. Ingat po kayo pa uwi. And of course, kay James Clifford Dalugdog. Francis, first time mo sa Interactive Live as official member. Anong mga lessons na natutunan mo nung Can You Say member ka pa bago ka naging part of MNL48?
Yeah, so let's just play this. Let's let it play out till they get to my comment.
Lesson po na natutunan ko nung Can You Say member pa po ako is palaging i-keep in mind po na there is always room for mistakes. Pero kailangan hindi ka maging, yun nga, complacent. Dapat always ka maging open to learn. Dahil dito kahit na MNL48 na ako, kahit na nakuha ko na, nasungkit ko na yung dream ko, gagamitin ko pa rin po ito as a stepping stone para sa future. Yun po. Sa improvement. That's true. Galing naman kay Sedlim. Queen, pupunta ako sa Satan Simo. See ya! Wow!
Queen.
Ang dami nyo, diba? December sa
Queen Francis.
Saya nun.
I think that's her nickname, Queen Francis.
Saya nun. Maraming pupunta. Sa October din yes, po, madam. Marami rin October. First ko po yun, kaya pumunta po kayo. October, ay naku, 9. 9 po. Ano po bang pinakamaraming
I think it's very close to my comment.
October? Ay, saya nun. Mas marami pa kaysa dun sa kila Daryl. Madaming cakes ate!
Excited.
Saya nun! Yes,
Excited.
madami yun. From Robbie Mendoza. Question for Ali. Ako magbabasa para daw sa'yo. When will you and Joyce be on the live together again? Both your interactions
She
in
did an
episode
X.
30 is one of my favorite episodes.
Mm.
Hindi ko yung... siniship sila, no? Ship sila. Joyly?
Joyly.
Sabi daw ni Joyce mag-free shipping something free daw. Shipping. Pag ayaw niya, ako din. Bakit ba? Galit kayo sa isa? Hindi, mahal ko naman siya. Pero,
Hmm?
hindi ko love ni Joyce. Mahal niya ako, hindi niyo lang sinasabi. Hindi niya lang sinasabi. Hard to get yun eh. Hard to get? Alam mo naman na message mo kay Joyce. Hi Joyce, I know. Parang lagi silang magkagalit, no? Pero dati talaga napagkakamalan ko si Joyce si Ari. Oo, yun din. Nanggalit ako. Hawig kayo dati. Hindi nga kami magkawig din. Hindi nga. Siguro kasi magkasama kayo palagi. Uy. Magiging magkamukha sila. Sila pala
Kinikilig, eh.
nakikita sa Sa. Labote. Sa. May namumuo. And of course, galing naman po kay Paul and Das. So happy
Okay,
for you,
let's
Queen.
stop.
Sabi ko nga dati, diba, I really see you as a future ace of MNL48.
Okay. Alright, let's stop it right there. Okay. So yeah, that was a fun question that I wanted to pose to Ali. So I want to see, to see Joyce and Ali together in an episode again, because episode 30 is definitely and still is one of my favorite episodes of iLife, because the way they're interacting, like strangely or funnily like that. But yeah, I like to see that again. And I mean, Joyce really needs more exposure in iLife. I mean, totally she only had like 5 appearances. Yeah. Besides the Can You Say, who have less than 3 episodes on their belt, Joyce is the most of the first gen, I guess, first gen members, the least appearances on iLive. I mean, give her some more shot, especially with Ali, so we could see some more explosive interactions between those two. Yeah, they have a very unique relationship in a way. Yeah, and also I realized, turns out, episode 87, so episode 86 was Thursday, episode 87 was Monday, so there was no Friday episode because I believe there was a storm. So, was it a storm? Or was it an earthquake? I think it was an earthquake, yeah, it was the earthquake. So, they didn't shoot an episode that day, yeah, because of the earthquake. Okay, so now moving on. Episodes can get quite long, but like 3 more episodes left. Okay, so episode 88, September 17 on a Tuesday. So it's composed of Alice, Princess, Lainey, and Isabel. Yeah, so I think it's more like, call this. Let's see what's right here. Oh, okay, yeah. So they're talking about basically all the members from Team M2, and I think they're talking about the upcoming release of their Living the Dream concert DVD. Yeah, they were talking about it, their experience in the concert. Yeah, and they actually showed some pics of the concert of M2. So the problem was, this is the funny part. I think it was the performance of Labrador Retriever at the concert. Okay, so they're showing pics, and the problem was among the members that are on iLab, only Alice was in those pics. Yeah, Princess was not part of M2 during that time. She was a part of Team L. Isabel was not part of it because she was still a second generation aspirant. And Lady was still a Kenkyusei, so she wasn't part of Team M2 either. So yeah, it's almost like all three were out of place. Uh, Out of place in this episode because all the pics just featured Team M2 and only Alice was there to talk about it. And all three seemed like, they don't know what to do because they weren't there. I mean, they were at the concert, but they just weren't part of the pictures that were being seen. Yeah, so now OP sila, yung OP. Just found out that meant out of place. Yeah, in Filipino slang. So yeah, I would rank this episode as okay. All right. So episode 89, September 18, on a Wednesday, composed of Bray, Dana, and Sess. Yeah. So they're the first three girls here, first three girls from what they call Team Tokyo, finally back to tell about their experience in Japan. Yeah. On the Tokyo Game Show, as well as the Sekimatsu Blue launch. And I've seen the videos. I mean, they did great, especially the performance on stage. Yeah, and they talked about um, how Sess seemed to fish everyone there in Japan, especially the Japanese and the other Filipinos there, who are not MLOs but became MLOs because of it. Yeah, and I mean, she did very great. I mean, from the video that I've seen, she was able to do a center. She was actually a center for Labrador, the performance of Labrador Retriever there, and it was great. Especially, she also did a double center with Dana for First Rabbit. I believe I mentioned Bingo in a previous video. I was wrong. It was actually First Rabbit. Yeah, so they talked about more experiences, their funny moments, especially they talked about Amy getting trapped in the airport bathroom and how she lost her phone. Yeah, and how she's always late. And then and regarding the embarrassing kind of scenario where I said embarrassing moment in the scenario where Dana and Sess went down to eat breakfast wearing bathrobes. I mean, they mentioned that Kay was embarrassed by it because they're not supposed to be wearing the bathrobes, only in the rooms, not not into the breakfast area of the hotel. Yeah. So yeah, and Bray kind of mentioned that how sweet Sess is because how Sess is kind of different in the Philippines. I mean, but I guess because they're in a small group and Sess wants to get close with the others that way, she likes to talk, talk story time, uh, till late into the night, from what Bray mentioned. Yeah, and also Bray mentioned that Dana was kind of like uh, also was kind of like became like a girl crush among the other idol group, the girls of the idol groups, the Japanese idol groups that they performed with on stage. They seemed to like Dana a lot because of her doll look. Yeah, almost like a living doll look. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, it's I would rank this episode pretty excellent because yeah, we got to see Sess again as usual, but I like talking about their experiences in Japan, especially if it's the first time for Sess and Dana. Oh, also, they Sess and Dana mentioned how they first found out about it, that they were part of the group that was going to Tokyo, which surprised them. And I kind of surprised as well because I thought this was the prize for them winning the Mobile Legends tournament. I thought that was part of it. That was like part of the game senbatsu. But then again, I realized it doesn't seem to make any sense. But because I know Dana and Cess were part of the team that won, but how come Princess Shira and who's the other girl? Isabel were not part of it. Instead, they sent also Rance and Amy, who were part of the third placers of that tournament. And comparing the scores, Rance and Amy were at the at the bottom of the scoring between all the individual players of that tournament. Yeah, so I'm not sure about that games and that's the thing, but I guess Seven Loves like to think that way. But the way that they were surprised that they were announced to be part of it doesn't seem to be part of the game Senbatsu as we all assumed. Yeah. So what was I thinking? Yeah. So also Eka made a very quick cameo in the background as the episode was ending. Okay, now we go on our final episode, episode 90, September 19, on a Thursday. And we have all the guests. The guests that we have here are the other girls who from Team Tokyo: Abby, Amy, Rance, and Kay. Yeah, Colleen is missing for some reason, but I guess they only needed 4 girls for this. So yeah, they talk about their experience in Tokyo because I mean, Abby, Bray, Colleen, and Kay were there for the Sekimatsu Blue Lunch since they are in the movie. Yeah, with Abby starring, of course. Yeah, and this was a pretty funny episode because of how Rance like very uh, confused or angry experience because she had to take care of the younger members of the group. It was assigned to her, Amy and Colleen, and she voiced out her frustration on how Colleen and Amy were being so difficult. Yeah, which I mean, Amy's first time in Japan, and I don't know. I guess she's just like, I guess stunned or shocked or starstruck because she's the first second gen member to go on a trip outside of the Philippines. And I guess that's still a shock to her, and I guess that's why she's like, yung sinasabi lang tulala. I guess, yeah. So yeah, all of them, all the members that were present in this episode had a funny story regarding Amy. Yeah. So yeah, and funny. I think at the beginning of the episode, it's another delayed start, and she sees Sheki, trying to be Sheki, run in front of the camera, and it's funny that Abby was kind of like not believing that the episode was already live. She's still not believing, despite the fact that Rance was still talking, knowing or at least believing that it was already a live episode. Yeah, it's I like the banter going on with all 4 members here, or at least 3 of them. Amy was pretty quiet in this episode, but she tries to defend herself or at least lie regarding her funny moments. Yeah, but yeah, Amy's kind of cute. Like I said, I think before when my first impressions of Amy wasn't really good when she first made an appearance on iLive, but now she seems to be growing on me. Yeah. So yeah, I could be one of her supporters right now. Right now, not fully, but maybe. Just keep it up, Amy. Yeah, being your cute self. Yeah. So I would rank this episode as excellent. Yeah. So highly recommend you watch this episode. Very funny moments. Yeah, very funny moments. I could say yeah because of telling their stories in Japan. They talk about also the other girls, Sess and Dana, and Abby was kind of very proud of Sess for being, the most popular member of the group when they were in Japan because they said a lot of the Japanese fans there were very interested and very happy to see her because in the way Sess represented the typical Filipina that MNL48 should be portraying. Yeah. So yeah. So excellent episode right there. All right. So yeah. So that ends all 14 episodes of this review. Ooh, quite long. So hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. So await part 11 in the future, which is the road to 100 episodes. So, if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Lock Rumster. Yeah, have any suggestions for the HG related? Please suggest them in the comments. Yeah, so without saying anything further, God bless, show less. Bye bye.